Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you all are doing well and getting benefit from our sessions with Dr. Anu Sidhu. In the last session, Dr. Anu taught us about classification of matter with real life examples. And today she's coming up with something new. So Dr. Anu, how are you and what is the new exciting topic for our viewers today?
I'm fine, thank you, Komal. And I'm so excited to be with you today. Today, we will start with a very interesting topic, and that is about chemical foundations, atoms, elements, and ions.
That seems interesting. So Dr. Sidhu, please introduce us to chemical elements.
Okay, I'm going to give a brief introduction about elements. The chemical elements are very important to all of us. So I will give you a brief history that how the elements were discovered and why the elements are so much interesting. Since ancient times, humans have used chemical changes for their own advantage. Like for examples, humans have uh, used the ore extractions. From the ores, the humans used to extract metals for making tools and for making ornaments. So the chemical changes which are occurring in the ores, they are very, very important. You know what? The Greeks were the first, those who try to explain the chemical changes, the chemical reactions which are occurring. And they proposed that matter is composed of four fundamental elements. And those four fundamental elements proposed by Greeks, that was fire, earth, water, and air. But the next 2000 years, it was dominated by alchemists, that is alchemy. So alchemists were like mystics, or they were like fakers, and they were obsessed by the method of changing the cheap metal into some precious metals like gold. But it is not that all the alchemists were like that. Some alchemists were very sincere scientists as well, and they were able to discover how to make acids. So otherwise, yeah, so alchemy was there. And but after that, the first scientist which showed his interest into the chemical reactions, that was an Irishman, that is Robert Boyle. No doubt the Robert Boyle, his maximum work is on the properties of the gases, but he was the first scientist who studied about the chemical reactions which are occurring because of the elements. And his firm belief was that all these scientific facts, they should be based on the experiments. According to him, any substance will be defined as an element if it is not able to be broken into different material, different pieces. So that is the element. But if it is able to be broken into different components, then that won't be an element. So that was his definition for an element.
It seems a very interesting topic to start with. And let's move forward about what are abundant elements.
Okay, so in studying the I think the material of this earth, that is material of the earth or the universe, that is matter. Right now we have 118 elements. So you see all these compounds, there are millions of compounds, you see, there's so many compounds. All these compounds are basically made up of these 118 elements. That's it. It is just like I will give you one non-chemical example here. Like for example, there are hundreds and thousands of words, right? There's so many words in English, but all these words are made up of 26 letters in English alphabets, right? So 26 letters of English alphabets, they are making the millions of words in English language. Same thing is, there are many compounds, but all these compounds, this matter, it is made up of only 118 elements. And out of those 118 elements, 92 elements are naturally occurring. And after 92 atomic number, the rest are synthetic elements or man-made elements. Some of the elements are found in large quantities in earth crust or in oceans. So those are known as the abundant elements. And a few elements are found in trace amount. So those are known as the trace elements. So these elements are found in rocks, in mineral, in earth crust, in ocean, in air. So these are abundant elements, and a few are in very small quantities. Those are trace elements.
That seems a bit detailed description about chemical elements and about the among elements. Would you care to describe a bit more about the trace elements?
For the trace elements, they are very important. No doubt, trace means very little quantity. They are in very less amount, but they are very important. Like, for example, in earth crust and in air or in oceans, I have a list of trace elements, which are like, we have titanium, chlorine, phosphorus, manganese, sulfur, nitrogen, fluorine. So these are kind of a trace elements. And abundant element, the maximum abundant elements, it includes like oxygen, silicon, and then we have aluminum, iron, calcium. So these are the elements which are abundant in earth crust.
Okay, so Dr. Sidhu, what, in your opinion, are trace elements really important for us?
Yes, trace elements are very important to us. I'll tell you one thing. Let me first list the trace elements which are found in human body, or what are the elements which are found in human body. So maximum amount is, of course, of oxygen. Okay, so oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, these are the elements which are found in human body. And in trace amount, the elements which are found in human body are, you will be amazed, that's arsenic, chromium, cobalt, copper, fluorine, iodine, manganese, molybdenum, nickel, selenium, silicon. Oh my God. List is so much for the trace elements. Sometimes what I feel is that our human body is like a chemical factory. We are loaded with so much of chemicals, actually. So I say this is a chemical factory, So all these chemicals, they are doing wonders inside us, which make us think, which make us feel, which make us work, because of those chemical reactions and all that. So it's very interesting. So I'm going to tell you, yes, your question was that what is the importance? Because they are in trace, so are they really important? Because it's a trace, so yes, they are important. Like, for example, there is a element like cobalt. Cobalt is used it is in vitamin B12 basically, okay? And it controls the behavior of the humans basically, and like, for example, chromium helps in the metabolism of sugar. So in the metabolism of sugar, so chromium is important. And there is a very important compound called like element lithium, and it is given to the patients which are suffering with bipolar. There is a disease called bipolar, and those persons, lithium carbonate is administered to those patients to cure the bipolarity. So look, lithium is so much important. And I will share one very important data with you here with me, that there is a chemist with the name of William Walsh. He has done some very interesting experiments, studies on the inmates of Stateville prison here in Illinois. There is a prison, Stateville prison in Illinois. He has done a very wonderful studies. What he did is he analyzed the hair of the prisoners, and he was able to find the amount of chromium present in the hair. And he got to know the relationship between the behavior of those inmates and the amount of chromium present in their hair. And there was the inverse relationship between the chromium present and their violent behavior. So you see, the violent behavior, that behavior is basically controlled by that chromium, though chromium is present in such a small amount. So it was the inverse relationship. More is the chromium present more is the cobalt present. That was the cobalt. So more cobalt is present, there will be less violent behavior. And cobalt is basically present in vitamin B12. So it means we should eat sufficient amount of vitamin B12 so that we have good amount of cobalt in our body, and then our behavior is controlled. So it's such a interesting studies which was done by the scientist, William. So chemistry of trace elements, I believe, is a very, very interesting topic. So we all should actually keep eye with the latest development about the studies of trace elements.
Yes, it is so amazing to see how things are interconnected with each other, how such a small amount of elements is so important in the human body. So this seems a very, interesting topic, and we will go in details, obviously. But for now, Dr. Shi, do you have any questions for your viewers?
So for my viewers, I have a few suggestions because this is a very interesting topic, and I recommend that especially my student community, they must read their textbooks and they find out more about the current affairs, about these trace elements, abundant elements, how elements were discovered. And one question I really want that if my students are able to search about that, it is, what is alchemy? And what are the important alchemists, and what was their role in the history of these elements?
Thank you so much, Dr. Sidhu, for sharing this vast knowledge with us. And that was all for today. Hope you all enjoyed this session and benefited from it as well. We are going to hold these sessions based on your feedback as well. Please like and subscribe Dr. Sidhu's Academy on YouTube. This is Komal Sai from Outline Media signing off.